Hello, I'm Dominic Walker, JMW's Inside Man. My guest is Mark Heppel. Mark is a partner within JMW's corporate law department. So, Mark, we hear that Elon Musk is about to acquire Twitter for a reported $44 billion. What exactly has he bought?
Hi, Dom. He's a bit of small change in his back pocket, choosing to buy Twitter. So yes, he's buying the shares in Twitter. So Twitter is an incorporated company. He will acquire the entire issued share capital of that company. So effectively, he will become the owner of the company. The company itself, of course, will then is Twitter, the Twitter Incorporated, which itself is owns the platform and all the intellectual property rights, data, etc. that goes with that. So by virtue of his acquisition, he'll have the whole company lock, stock and barrel.
And you mentioned he's got it lock, stock and barrel. Does one morning will he just pop in, get an office, and there he goes and sort of take over and run the whole company?
And it's not quite that straightforward. Obviously, he owns the company, therefore, has the majority, also voting control of at shareholder level. That the company itself will of course operate via its board and the officers there, and of course all the various employees and technical people. So it won't be a day one change. He'll have the ability to appoint and remove directors. So I'm sure he will bring his own people in and maybe start to dictate things through that way. But becoming a shareholder straight away doesn't necessarily mean he goes in and will just have that immediate impact. There's certainly sort of quite widely publicised as to sort of the various reasons as to why he is buying the company, and particularly around sort of freedom of speech and political aspirations, etc. And with Twitter being so widely used and obviously that sort of real time reporting of news, it'll be interesting to see how his ownership eventually impacts on sort of what content's being put out there and how people perceive the platform.
And I know that you have specialism in acquiring and selling tech companies and companies in general as well. How can you help anybody who wants to acquire a company?
Obviously, if if any other billionaires are looking to acquire Facebook or anything, we'd be delighted to assist them. I think that's a little bit out of the range that we normally deal with. We certainly, being based in Manchester, we deal with a lot of really interesting, exciting tech businesses, high growth businesses. So we can help them from all aspects, whether it's their incorporation and growth and protecting their own intellectual property and assets, or whether it's entrepreneurs or investors getting involved in those businesses. We can assist them with those acquisitions or investments and dealing with the various due diligence and reviews of those companies and pointing out any potential risks of those acquisitions or investments, and ultimately assisting with the contractual documentation which will underpin those acquisitions or investments. So delighted to speak to anyone that is interested in any acquisitions or investments.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mark. And if you'd like to speak to Mark, you can email insideman@jmw.co.uk or call 0161 82 81 999. I'm Dominic Walker, JMW's Inside Man.